Good morning, good afternoon. I am happy to see you in class again. I am your great promise, and in our today's session, we are going to be looking at how we can determine the NPV of a project or the NPV of an investment. So NPV stand for the net present value. So when we talk about net, that means something has happened before we arrive at the net, right? It can either be something has been added or something has been subtracted. But talking about net here, we are going to be looking. It means that what there has exist or a difference between something and something before we arrive here. So the NPV of a project simply predicts the net amount, meaning the difference between the cash inflow and the cash outflow of an investment. So right in front of me here now, we have an exercise which goes thus. This is an exercise that we used this exercise in our previous session to calculate the payback period, the accounting rate of return, and today we want to use this same exercise to advise this same company using the NPV. So the high NPV will require that project is very profitable as compared to a low NPV. So the exercise still goes down. Procure Limited is considering two investment opportunity having the following full X So I have the yes or I have yes. Well, project A, project B, and project C. Yes, project A, project B, and project C. Let me just quickly put this thing in tables. All right. Of the years from got 5 years, project A, project B, we can see project A is having even cash flow and project B is having uneven cash flow. Now we have said that given that the company uses 10% cost of capital, determine its NPV. So we are just quickly going to dive into this calculation. All right, solution. All right, I hope you can see my screen. All right, thank you. So now this is we will determine the NPV of A or project A and also the NPV of project B. And for us to move further, we have to look at the discounting factor. So our discounting factor will be calculated at 10%. So we are going to have a column for the discounting factor and then the NPV and then the PV of project A. The present values of A also have the present values of B as well. So right, thank you very much. So the formula to calculate the discounting factor, so discounting factor, let me just abbreviate, discounting factor is equal to discounting factor equal to, I have 1. What is this sign on my keyboard? 1 plus I raised to the power negative n raised to the power negative n. So this n is the duration of investment. So this is the formula to determine the NPV, the discounting factor of a project or of an investment. So now we are going to determine, so year 0, when we are going to substitute, we have which will be equal to 1. Please just be following. So 1 plus 10% is 0.1 raised to the power. So you first simplify the bracket, 0, then we are going to have 1, then we continue here. So this same formula, I can switch it down here. So it will be raised to the power negative 1, right? So I can autofill. It's too much. We'll just be dragging one after the other, please. Double click and edit, raised to the power negative 2. Answer. It continues. This guy raised to the power negative 3 now. So this other one raised to the power negative 4. That's how you'll be punching in your calculator. Then the last. Or 1.1 raised to the power negative 5. We have results. So you can see my work here. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decimal places. Let's say, let me use 4 decimal places. Let me switch everything to 4 decimal places. Sorry, 4 rather. So this is the work into 4 decimal places. Now, what is the formula now to calculate the present value? Our present value is equal to discounting factor multiplied by the cash flow, or the net cash flow. It might depend whether you have been given with the net or they are just calling it cash flow, or you are the one to determine the net cash flow whatsoever. So the PV is equal to this times this. So now let's calculate the present values of project A. So which is simply equal to, sorry, year 0. Nothing is expected in year 0. So year 0 we just have a dash, right? Or we have a negative among there whatsoever. Is equal to this times this 3k times 0.9091. You are going to have an amount. Then the same, we continue like that. So I can autofill this one, since this is Excel, right? It's easy. So now for project B, so what would be the sum? What would be the sum of the present values here? Let me just put this. So the total, yeah, I can use the sum function, right? So this is my total NPV here. Can bold this. This is the total PV, sorry, the present values of A. This is the total present values of A. So NPV is equal to what? Of the summation, sorry, sum of present value take away the initial investment, or we say cash flow at year 0, or the amount that you invested, or the amount that you are thinking of investing. So you take the sum of the present values and you subtract it from the initial investment. So concerning A, what is the initial investment of A? 10,000 francs. So the sum of the present value is 11,372.40 or 0.4. So the NPV here will be equal to what? Will be equal to this, take away the initial outlay, right? So the NPV of this project is, let me insert an empty row here. So the NPV for project A will have 1,372. Okay, so now let's calculate for B as well. Let's calculate for B as well. All right, let me take the cash flows of project B of here and just insert it down here. All right. So this is this. So we are going to use the discounting factor. Since we are giving the cost of capital as 10%, is for the both projects. So the NPV here, so the present value here, here will be, well, sorry, something, excuse me please. All right. So the present values of B, or project B, the present values of project B, we are going to start calculating this. I'm equal to, you take the cash flow times the discounting factor. This is it. We have an answer equal to cash flow times the discounting factor. So that is that. I will just autofill for the others. So what will be the total here? Still use the sum function, or equal to. So when you sum that, that's what you have. Then the NPV of B will be equal to sum of the present values, take away the initial outlay. So looking at the two projects, you are going to notice that what project B is having a negative NPV. Project B is having a negative NPV. Now you as an investor, or you as an accountant, or you as a project manager, and or you as who, now that you want to advise somebody to invest in these two projects, which of the project will you choose, and then why? So you have, I'm sure that the reasons, the answers are clearly explaining what you, in fact the answers are already giving you the explanation. So one is positive and one is negative, so automatically it means something from the NPV of something, what you understand by NPV. So thank you very much for following. Thank you very much. I believe you have grasped something today, And if you have any worry, please just drop the comment in the comment section. We are going to pick you up from there, and then we move further. Keep learning, keep saving, and keep changing your world. Thank you very much. Cheers.